Journeyman Chronicles.
Mic check 1 2, mic check 1 2. I am being a rebel here at 9:05 at night because I got work yet in the morning. And if there's anybody that works with me that's out there right now, and if they're watching this, we will rebel together. My name is Felix C. Arroyo. This is the Journeyman Chronicles. I'm going live for the first time on Facebook since September. I think I went live in September, like probably the second after the first episode or the second episode, somewhere around there. Anyway, so I decided to do something different because I got to start getting hip to doing shit live. So why not test on Facebook Live? This is the wrap-up episode for Too Sincere. If you were able to check out the last episode of the Chronicles, I interviewed Jazzy Garcia for episode 25. She shared her journey with making candles. And talking about making candles, you know, at face value may not seem all that interesting. However, talking to Jazzy about her passion for wanting to make unique candles that have unique names, that smell good, and having such a passion that she made 46 or 47 different scents and smells. We got to learn about her love and admiration for Jose, her husband, and how they work together. I thought it was a dope episode. It hit off really well. I tend to get comments whenever I post interviews. I tend to get comments from people that are listening, and I got some, as like I usually do, which I'm grateful. A lot of people appreciated this episode. Just because Jazzy's just fun. She's just fun. And it was cool to kind of like have an episode where we could just laugh and kind of not be so melodramatic. Not that melodramatic's bad. You know, sometimes you got to have your moments in life. But, you know, every now and then it's good to kick back, let the hair down if your hair's long enough. Mine's not. But you know what I mean, the figure of speech and whatnot. So, when you talk about candles, and I got 2 Sincere candles upstairs in my bedroom right now. But everybody likes candles. Everybody likes to, well, for the most part. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you don't. Maybe you're that type of person that's super sensitive to smells. I don't know. That's got to suck. But I don't. I love smelling candles. I love all types of different, like, you know, during the autumn, I like the apple cinnamon smells. You know, during the winter, I don't know if I got anything for the winter. Usually for the summer, it's anything vanilla, anything that's coconut. I don't know. I love scents. I love smells. So, of course, Jazzy hooked my wife up with a little care package before the drop of the episode as a thank you. So thank you, Jazzy. I don't know. I can't tell who's watching. That's the weird thing about this is I can't tell who's watching. I see 4 people are watching. So thank you all. Well, I know a guy at work named Larry's watching. Larry, you still watching? God bless you. Waiting for live video signal. Good Lord, I don't know why. Anyway, there I go. Things I don't usually have to worry about when I record on my own. The editing process will eliminate all of this dead space, and it will sound seamless. Anyway. This is it, folks. when you're doing something for the first time live on Facebook, you're trying to look at it. Maybe this is a distraction. Maybe I shouldn't even be looking at this. But anyway, how about I just click that? For those that are listening, I apologize. For those that are watching, I really apologize. But anyway, salute to those that are still here. Like I said, I got to be up in 6 hours, but you know, sometimes you got to do what you got to do in order to succeed. Sometimes you got to go against the grain. So when I'm wrapping up this episode with Jazzy Garcia, kind of tying in to the previous episode back in October or late September, early October, when I interviewed her husband, Jose. So in the beginning of the episode, that was the callback. And I thought that was a dope thing to do. I've always wanted to try to implement that whenever I was editing my episodes. I kind of want to get creative. And I want to be able to do different things. And when I was listening to the interview back with Jazzy, I was like, you know, this would be dope if I could tie in Jose in the beginning where he kind of talks about Too Sincere and his wife and use her husband as a way to introduce Jazzy. That was the way I was thinking. So I thought that turned out well. Hopefully, if you listened to it, you appreciated that. My little previously on the Journeyman Chronicles is now a soundbite that I've saved. And I'm just going to upload that to every fucking little episode I want to put up there. I'm going all legit. I'm going professional. And I'm a professional beer drinker at that. So anyway, episode 26. So here's the deal. As we wrap up this episode, I currently have no interviews done because my goal now is to start preparing for live interviews. So, you know, I'm talking to Marquise and I'm getting things situated, and I'm always trying to make sure everything is in its place and ready to rock and roll because I just want to make sure shit's done right. It's you know, my OCD-ness. And even though I know there will be hiccups, hence, you know, 5 minutes ago as I was dealing with the shenanigery of this Facebook Live, I know that it's worth it. So what I plan on doing is, putting together a montage of all of my previous episodes together, so that there's something to introduce me to those that will be listening to me on TCP Live that do not know who I am. Maybe you don't know who I am. Maybe you never listened to the Journeyman Chronicles. Maybe you don't listen to podcasts. Maybe you're looking at me like, who is this big schmuck talking to me? I don't know anything about the Journeyman Chronicles. So I decided to put together something. That's what I'm going to do here this weekend. I'm going to send that off to Marquise. And Wednesday evening, I'll give you a heads up for sure. Wednesday evening, 7:00, we'll start having some Journeyman Chronicles on the TCB radio station, WTCP, just to start getting shit rolling for the live interviews coming later this month. April Fool's Day doesn't mean shit to me because I don't joke around with April Fools. So I haven't said anything to anybody that wasn't true today. And anybody that said anything outrageous to me today, I ignored you on purpose. Because I don't fuck with that shit. Don't hurt my feelings. Don't play with my heart. Okay? If you tell me I want a lot of money, I want to see it. Oh, we do have some comments. Forgive me. 5 minutes ago. Jazzy, you are here. My bad. I'm just now. See, this is embarrassing. See, this is why I gotta learn this shit. See what I'm saying? It don't say nothing on my phone. I'm putting my phone away. My phone's fucking me over. Let's put that away. Okay. Okay, Jazzy says we are both here. Jazzy and Jose are here. Hello to you both. Thank you for joining. Jazzy, thank you for sharing your story, your journey. One of the things that I love doing is opening the door for people to share their journey because, and I've said this before, and this is going to be like, a monotonous message you're going to continuously hear from me. But when we talk about things and we share stories, there's a lot of similarities between them. There's going to be people that are going to understand. They're going to understand. They're going to relate. And that's how people bond. That's how people connect. So, every episode that I've done, especially now, Jazzy Garcia, she's part of now the catalog. These are all people that have, and I thought about this today. We all experience trials and tribulations one way or another. Some of us experience more extreme of a trial and tribulation than others, but the end result is still the same in regards to how we are impacted by that, how we decide to react. Do we act or do we, react? And when you're presented with a layoff, like Jazzy talked about, you talk about a layoff and then, 10 years later, the pandemic hits. These are obstacles that we all come across one way or another. I've been laid off before. Now I wasn't able to really think on my feet like a lot of people where I just kind of just was in my own way when I got laid off. But to think on your feet and be able to react, be able to act. Hey, let's do this. Let's do these candles. That train of thought I've always appreciated. So, when you hear a story like Jazzy's, or you hear a story like Micaiah Ravel's, when you hear a story like Christine Blair, who just decided, fuck it, I'm selling the house and I'm packing it all up and I'm gonna go cross country. These are gutsy decisions. These are bold moves because other people's lives are responsible for the decisions and choices that you make. And one of the things that I was thinking about today, and I talked about this with my daughter, because sometimes I try to be somewhat of a, helpful father with words of wisdom. I don't know if I'm that good, but, I'm turning myself up here. Pardon me if you guys are bothered by that. But one of the things I tell my daughter, and I try to think about this often, is as we go through life, and we start learning from different people, and we start gathering, helpful little hints to how to do things, or you watch people. They don't even have to talk to you. You just watch them. You just watch them and you learn from them. They're giving you keys to open doors in your future. Even if it's somebody that just comes into your life for 5 minutes, or somebody that has been involved in your life for 25 years, even if that's as long as they're going to be a part of your life, they're giving you stuff. You got to be able to take those keys and open up doors. And I feel like a lot of people mostly all of the people really that I've interviewed have had an opportunity where they've taken keys and opened up doors. A lot of the things that I tell my daughter is, be careful, because when you get to a point in your life, when you're leaving adolescence and you're becoming a young adult, you're mature, but you're young, you're going to make some bonehead decisions. We've all done it, but you're going to want to you're going to want to explore your ability to be independent. And with that comes welcoming people into your life that don't deserve to be in your life. And you're going to start wanting to see the best in them. And these people take advantage of you. And hence the trials and tribulations come into your life. But what happens is you start putting your key in someone else's pocket and instead of trying to open up these doors. And that's one of the things that I try to tell my daughter. And I was thinking about that today because, not that I was aiming for that for the podcast, but really everybody that I'm talking to, and even, including my wife, and even my own journeys that I share from time to time, it's all about really recognizing that you put your key in someone else's pocket, or you weren't able to recognize that you've had these keys all along. And so now you're able to do for self. And why not share stories like that? And really, it kind of turned into that over the course of 6-7 months with the podcast. I really was just aiming to interview cool people who are doing amazing things, and I am, but everybody has a common factor in that, or the common denominator rather, and that is taking keys and opening doors, right? So Jazzy and Jose, they had keys, and what do I mean by that? When you got Jose saying, why don't you make these candles? When Jazzy is looking at candles because she loves buying them so much, like my beautiful wife does, and the idea of, well, I wonder what goes into making candles. That right there is just like the idea, the want to do this, that was inside Jazzy somewhere. The creativity, that key was just there waiting to open up a door. So, hopefully when people listen to these episodes, they get into it, because with the live interviews, I'm really going to want to push wanting to know, what are you doing with the keys that you've been given? And tell me about the times that you lost your keys. Tell me about the time keys were taken from you, because people will take your keys. People will take from you. And sometimes you got to work really hard to get that back, because these doors don't just open on their own. And when they do, you can't be too scared to walk through them. And I'm 43. Well, I'll be 43 in 2 weeks. But, being in my early 40s, just now wanting to walk through a door, as grateful as I am that I'm doing it, it's sometimes I wish I would have held on to my keys in my 20s and in my 30s, so that I could be experiencing this a little earlier. But better late than never. So I don't know if I'm making any sense to anybody, but I'm kind of just going off on a little rant here. All right. Four people are watching. Thank you so much for watching, by the way. Jazzy, if you're still watching, a coworker of mine asked for your website. I sent her the website, toosincere.com. She's going to buy some candles. And I want to check up on her in a couple days and make sure she did. Because if she was just saying that, which I don't think she was just saying that. She's a pretty honest person. For those that were asking, also, yeah, I haven't really been pushing truly on the podcast lately because I just stopped drinking them. And I stopped drinking them because, I don't know, I just stopped. But I have been kind of drinking my Stellas again. Stellas and Fat Tire or wine. Merlot. What's the white wine that you like drinking? Pinot Grigio, Chardonnay. I'm more of a red wine though. I'm more of a Merlot. If I was drinking Merlot right now, it would be an interesting story for me tomorrow at work. Oh, thanks, babe. I've said that. I've said that before.
It's a great analogy, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know I said that before. I tend to repeat myself.
Always very deep.
Well, that's how I look at it. That's how I look at it. Right? Whether you want the keys or not, you're getting keys. And sometimes we got to go through. The hindsight is what tells us, oh man, I was learning something the whole time, or I was mad at you for so long, but actually I'm grateful for you because you've given me something. I thought you took away from me, but really you gave me something. And when you get to that point where you're like, I can move on. I'm good. Thank you. When you can thank somebody that has hurt you or taken something from you, then you become not so much the better person, but a better person. I don't even know if I don't know if you can be. I don't know if they can hear you. Speak up, woman. Speak up, woman.
No, I wasn't going to be on this episode, but I was talking to my mom today because
at this point the microphone kind of goes in and out because Alexandra's just too far away from it, and so it's not able to pick up the entire conversation. But what she's pretty much talking about here is how this reminded her of how when her dad decided I'm not going back to work anymore. He had stopped working or retired very, very young. He was 58 or 59. And we were all just really kind of concerned, and he was very steadfast and confident that he was going to be fine. That he knew that, his belief in God, that God would take care of him. But it was that jump. It was that leap of faith that her father had, my father-in-law, that I don't know what's coming. I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I'm going to do it. And now looking back, it was a great decision for him because, he wasn't happy and he's happy now. And, that was something that really was concerning to my wife at first and myself as well, but that's her daddy. And she was worried, but this ended up working out, and she's happy now to see where her father is because he has so much more time now to spend with his grandchildren. And that means everything to my wife. So that's what happened here. And now let's fade right back in to the conversation.
I don't think it's about being creative, though. Like, I don't think it's about being creative. It's about, like, what you just said, like, even about your dad. And I think the reason why it scared a lot of us about your dad is because hindsight now shows what he was doing. It was in line with exactly what Jazzy was saying and what others have said, but the way he did it was so unorthodox, especially out of character for him. But I don't think it's about anything about being creative. I think it's about getting to a point where you're like, something needs to change. But I'm also confident in the fear. Like, that's how I can explain what I'm doing. Sure. Because I never felt this way when I did music. When I did music, it was like, I like making music. This is cool. But when I started getting into pushing with performances or trying to push it to get some sort of notoriety or recognition or try to get signed, I got scared because of the fear. Where here, I'm like, I'm scared, but I'm like, I'm good. And it's that, not creativeness, it's just that determination where it's like, no, this is where I take control. I'm taking control. And I think that's where your dad was at 3 years ago. And, you're on that hamster wheel of doing what you're supposed to do, but not feeling accomplished.
Sure.
And that's where you get that, I think, that strength and that want to succeed. So, yeah. No, I'm completely with you. Yeah, absolutely.
Entrepreneurs and
it's a scary. It's scary, but it's. I would think that it's exciting. It's an adrenaline rush. When you hear the proverbial, like, you don't know until you try. Sure. That becomes more now that makes more sense. It's like, You know, when I stood on the dock last year and I was like, I don't want to do this shit anymore. I need to do it. Like right now, I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing, but I'm doing it.
Right.
You know, hopefully a year from now, I can look back and be like, look at me looking like a schmuck on Facebook Live. But, you know, at that point, I'll have 50 episodes done. And
It's that proverbial, it's always a no until you ask or until.
right.
Hands down, I'm a big fan of Jazzy. I'm a big fan.
Thanks, babe.
Jazzy has a little place in my heart that's special. All right, I'm getting off your.
That's because she cleans with Ajax in the tub.
But that's facts.
And I think it's important that you understand that I wasn't the only one that did that.
I don't knock it. I did it the other day.
Oh, you did?
And like, I'm hoping that one of these days it clicks to you that maybe I'm just unsuccessful because I don't use the Ajax, and then you start doing it all the time.
What do you mean?
That'd be great.
I gave you kudos in the episode that you're the one that usually does it. I don't do it as
Let's
often.
flip that role.
I'm all about flipping
I'll
it.
do all the Ajax in the world,
Well, I mean, look, it.
and then you can do it all the time.
Well, if work wasn't stealing my life from me,
Because I don't work.
I'm not saying you don't work,
You're getting yourself
but you're
in
different.
trouble.
You like to do 20 things at once, and I hate that shit. I do. I'll drink this beer and I'll do this podcast right now, but that's about it. I'm a one thing at a time guy. So
Target order staple here on in Ajax.
Ajax or Comet, yeah. Maybe we can get them to sponsor the podcast. Jazzy says, "Oh, thank you, Alexandra." Okay, good. I'm glad you guys heard that. I wasn't sure if this mic was picking that up. I was going to have two mics set up, but because we did get another mic. Oh, and by the way, all of the donations to the podcast, people sponsoring, or people donating with subscriptions and whatnot, I appreciate it. The money, I took some money from that and I bought a new mic. So I actually bought another one of these Fifine or Fifine. I don't know how to pronounce it. But I love them. They're USB mics and they're great. And I bought two of them total now. Well, so there you go. So anyway, well, thank you, babe, for joining the podcast. I think for a first time doing an episode, you know, when I upload this to Spotify, I'm going to do some editing. There's going to be a lot of dead space. I got to get rid of it. But, you know, for those that have watched and listen, I'll always remember you. For the 3 people that watch my podcast, I'm going to the gas station. What y'all want? Like, I mean, I'm going to throw that in there now. And I'll put my face on all over that. You guys will always have a special place in my heart for watching. But I need to get going. So listen, I need y'all to do me a favor. Don't stay up too late. Get some rest. Then again, it is Friday. Maybe fuck it, go out and have a drink. I mean, I'm the one that's got to get to bed. I got to get to work. So whatever it is you're going to do it safely. Don't drink too much. And if you do, get yourself a fucking DD. It ain't worth getting locked up over this shit. You ain't driving and drinking and drinking and driving. No. So y'all be safe. Remember to maintain focus and stay continuous through all 4 seasons. My name is The Journeyman. I am Felix C. Arroyo. I am signing off for the live broadcast of episode 26. The wrap up for Jazzy Garcia's Too Sincere. Y'all be safe.